Hi, in this video I wanted to discuss Adele, the English singer and songwriter. In this interview with Q's Tom Power from a few months ago, she discusses her latest album, which touches on many personal topics, like her ex-husband Simon Konecki, her 9-year-old son, her father who left her mom and her when she was only 2 years old, and about her anxiety and depression. Here I wanted to analyze her or their body language and see what can be deduced. So let's go.
Hi.
Hi.
Adele, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, I suppose I should start with congratulations.
Thank you.
It's really a really great record.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's so personal and vulnerable,
Yeah.
but it's also like just a lot of really interesting textures, and I kind of want to talk about the sound of the record, and I want to talk about some of these songs, where they come from, but I can't get over how big it all is, you know?
Yes.
Okay, here we can see a ton already. So first of all, they're sitting very close together. He mirrors her. I mean, she has a short skirt on, so she can't sit any other way. But he's mirroring her, also in the color of the clothes. She expresses a lot of disgust. That might also be in part towards him. So he's leaning into her, he's leaning forward. She is more backward. And that might be because he reminds her of her ex-husband. He looks somewhat similar with the beard, kind of woke, small, soft hands, and she might dislike this about her interviewer. Let's go back again in slow motion.
I suppose I should start with congratulations.
Thank you.
It's really a really great record.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So here we see disgust and she looks down.
I appreciate it.
Then it turns into a big fake smile.
The album is a very calm record, Easy on Me. Like, you know, obviously it's talking about like things falling apart and stuff, but it's also very grown up. It's a very grown up way of sort of, you know, knocking down your life and having to have those very big conversations. Like, you know, it's never going to be like 21 or 25 was a bit more about myself really, but like in terms of me in a relationship, but me blaming someone else. But it just felt like the right tone to be where I'm at in terms of relationships falling apart now.
So it's all about me, me, me. She has a lot of facial expressions. She shows disgust and anger on her face. She has these very long fingernails, claw-like, like a cat. She has very strong makeup, which makes her appear like she has a mask. So that's a red flag. It looks like she's hiding something. She wears these very dark colors and her makeup is also very dark. She's not fully in touch with her femininity. And she has also very strong, a bit vulgar language. A bit sort of working class accent. So that indicates that when she was developing, a few years old, when her speech was developed, there were traumas and she's essentially living in the past. And later on she talks about how angry she is with her dad, who left her when she was only 2.
One hurting each other. It's a song about being like, it's just talk about how you're going to split your lives apart. Like, you know, it has to be, you know, you have to be respectful with each other, you have to be calm, otherwise nothing's ever going to get sorted out. And it's not a song about anyone hurting each other, it's a song about being like, it's just, we love each other so much, but it's not working.
So she talks about loving each other and she's shaking her head, she looks very angry and, again, with a disgust expression.
The tone of it is kind, I think. Maybe you disagree.
I know, I think.
Kind, so she doesn't look kind. She's offering it here with her open palm gesture. But her face doesn't look very kind.
Oh, no, I do. No,
Yes.
I think it is.
So I think
fact,
that's a good tone, I felt like, for me to come back with, like, you know.
Like respect between all parties.
Exactly, that's exactly. But that's what I mean by the tone of it. That's what's been going on in my life. You know, it's not argumentative, it's not bitter, it's not like, fuck you and all that. Like, it can't be like that. There's a child involved.
So a lot of anger, a lot of disgust, a lot of vulgar language, which doesn't make her look very approachable. She looks very reserved with her black turtleneck and her dark makeup and her claw-like hands.
Made it more personal. I was like, oh, like, you know, but then by the end, like, he's sort of being like, I feel like you don't like me. Like, you know, so it's going on his journey as well as my own, I thought was really important, made it more personal. I thought it would be nice at this stage in my career also to, like, let people in a little bit more, you know?
She's talking about a 9-year-old son. She put a recording of him in this song. I think it's a horrible idea. to involve his son, and he's gonna hate her for that later.
I wrote that I was feeling better and my anxiety had gone and stuff like that, but also just being like, well, at least I've done the hard work. At least I haven't avoided it, you know, and it might take another 10 years for me to feel like I'm okay and stuff like that and safe again.
Very angry face. Extremely angry.
It's insane, and that's when I started to like coil up and be like, I don't know if his life is for me. But it was that one, it became so massive, like out of nowhere, by such surprise, that I had no choice but to be like, hey, you lot have it then, like, you know. 25, I just had a baby when I started writing it. I don't remember what my thought process was going through all of that. And then I did a huge tour, so I would say I also gave that record to everyone as well. But this one, like I said, I was angry at my dad for so long and all these things, and it might make him feel seen for the first time. Or that, you know, my divorce really humanised my parents for me. Not that they were married, but, like, that's an incredible thing. Like, you know, like I was so, like, angry at my dad for so long and all these things, and in my divorce, I was like, well, we're all fucking human. Like, you know, we can't just only live one way for our children, which I'm sure a lot of people will think is very selfish and stuff. But in that, I felt I got healing with my dad.
Super angry.
Before he died. Like, just, if you just be, like, imagining a scenario, right? You have to go and talk to your boss, or you have to go and talk to, like, I remember I did it with my dad when I went to go and see him when he was sick, and in my head I was like, I just know it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. And I remember, like, my friend said to me, like, everything that you think is going to happen is not going to happen. It'll be the opposite. He was like, the colour of the front door is probably going to be different to last time you were there. And it was just, and when I got there, pumped myself right up, ready to go and be like,
oh my God.
I think a lot of people thought I was going to be an angry divorced woman.
Yeah.
And so I thought that Easy on Me was a good tone of being like, well, I'm not, so.
Okay. In summary, we see a very dark, angry woman. She feels disgust towards men, in particular her dad, ex-husband, and even the interviewer. With this baggage, no relationship will likely work, unfortunately. Her depression might be deeper and linked to her earlier prenatal depression, which is very telling. This is an indication of a deeper issue than just the dysfunctional relationship between her parents. There's an old issue surrounding childbirth, which may go back even a couple of generations, like to her grandmother, who may have lost a child, and so was so absorbed that she couldn't pass love and support on to her child, Adele's mother, who was then unable to give it to Adele. Quite tragic, actually. Yeah, so thank you very much for listening, and I hope you liked it, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Thanks again, and talk to you next time. Bye.